Let's do it. Let's review the M2 13-inch MacBook Pro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to AppleInsider. It is Andrew here, and you can find me on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. If you haven't done so already, would you please subscribe? And if you could, enable those notifications. That way you don't miss a single video. Here, I'm going to be going in depth in reviewing the 13-inch MacBook Pro. But this was the one with Apple's all-new M2 processor. And while there aren't a lot of things changed, I still feel like there's a decent amount to talk about. So join me, use the chapter markers down below if you want to skip to any specific sections, and then let's go ahead and dive in. Let's start off with the design and the specs of the new 2022 M2 MacBook Pro. Now, as I mentioned, there's not a lot different here between the latest generation M2 13-inch MacBook Pro and the M1 prior generation. Apple has literally kept the body, design, everything the same, basically just upgrading a couple of the internals, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So everything else that you saw on the prior generation 13-inch MacBook Pro is here. We still have the same 2560 by 1600 display that has 500 nits of brightness and measures 13.3 inches on the diagonal with a 227 ppi. It's a good display and it looks solid. Apple, of course, qualifies it as a Retina display. We do have the same 720p FaceTime camera there at the top, though it might be slightly improved thanks to the new image signal processor in the M2. Again, more on that in a few. We have the same keyboard we had the last generation and the large trackpad. Yes, there is still a touch bar, which is a little bit of a surprise, since Apple has done away with the touch bar on many of its other machines. Personally, I am a fan of the touch bar. Things like autofill and opening documents from certain applications is vastly improved thanks to the touch bar. And on my 16-inch MacBook Pro, I very much miss it. So using the 13-inch MacBook Pro again and having those shortcut buttons and autofill things and everything like that brought back again to the keyboard, I have very much enjoyed. The touch bar is one of the single reasons that I would tell somebody to pick this up, but I know not everyone is as enthralled with the touch bar as I am. On the far right hand side of that touch bar is the Touch ID sensor, which can still be used to authenticate, enter password, credit card information, make purchases, all of that. So all of that is still baked in here. There are 3 ports on this machine. There are 2 USB-C Thunderbolt ports there on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we still retained our 3.5mm headphone jack. There's no dedicated charging port here. Instead, you're just going to use the included USB-C adapter to charge with either of these USB Type-C ports. Apple did boost the charger, though it is migrated from a 61 watt to a 67 watt power adapter, which is nice. I mean, 6 more watts of power to charge up the machine, I'll definitely take it. It didn't seem to make a big difference in the overall charging time of this machine, but hey, it is a little bit more power, and that's always good. Speaking of power, this does have about a 20-hour battery life. Apple says all-day battery life is kind of what you'd expect. It's a very good battery, same battery rating as, again, that last generation unit. The model that I am testing is the base model, which means it has 8 gigs of unified memory and it has 256 gigs of SSD storage. You can configure those up more, though. You can choose to get up to 24 gigabytes of unified memory, and you can get up to 2 terabytes of internal SSD storage. The biggest change to the internals is Apple's M2 processor. This is Apple's 2nd generation of silicon for the Mac. So the M2 is replacing the M1 essentially in its processor lineup. If you're looking at Apple's other chips, including the M1 Pro, M1 Max, M1 Ultra, all of those are still more capable than the M2. So don't think because it's an M2, it's more powerful than an M1 Pro. The M1 Pro is still more powerful, has other features, including support for more memory. It also has way more GPU cores, so there's a lot going on with the M1 Pro versus the M2. but still the M2 is a good upgrade. It's still an 8-core chip built on the 5nm process. It has 4 high-efficiency cores and 4 high-performance cores that the OS will automatically switch between based on your workload. Beyond that, Apple has added new hardware-accelerated video encode and decode engines, including those for ProRes, which is great. We have additional support for memory. Apple has upped the bandwidth by 50%, now at 100 gigabytes per second, allowing the new M2 MacBook Pro to be configured with up to 24 gigs of memory. The prior generation 13-inch MacBook Pro could only be outfitted with 8 or 16 gigs. So now there's a 24 option in terms of memory. And the cores themselves are just faster. So even though it's still an 8-core chip, it outperforms the M1. In benchmarks, we can definitely see improvements in speed dramatically over that M1. It's a nice increase in we'll get to the daily use in a moment. Finally, Apple did upgrade to a 10-core GPU. The M1 was either a 7 or an 8-core. On the MacBook Pro, Apple gave you the 8-core automatically. If you had chosen the previous generation MacBook Air, you could choose 7 or 8 GPU cores. But for the MacBook Pro, Apple's going from 8 to 10 with the M2. Still, Apple limits the external video support from this chip to one external display, 6K, 60 Hz. If I could interject for just a moment, do you want to experience twice as fast load times in Safari on your iPhone, iPad, and Mac? Then download Magic Lasso Ad Block, the ad blocker designed for you. It's easy to use, can even block YouTube ads, and can double the speed at which Safari loads. Thank you to Magic Lasso for sponsoring this video. Magic Lasso is an efficient, high-performance, and free ad blocker. With over 4,000 5-star reviews, it is simply the best Safari ad blocker for your iPhone, iPad, and Mac. It blocks all intrusive ads, trackers, and annoyances, letting you experience a faster, cleaner, and more secure web browsing experience. And unlike some other ad blockers, Magic Lasso respects your privacy and doesn't accept payments from advertisers. The app also now blocks over 10 types of YouTube ads, including all video ads and pop-up banner ads. So join over 200,000 users and download Magic Lasso Adblock for free from the App Store or via www.magiclasso.co. As a special thank you to Apple Insider viewers, if you use the link down below in the description or pinned in the comments, you will get 1 month of free access to all of the app's Pro features. Thank you again to Magic Lasso Adblock for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to our main content. Since I've been using the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the M2 for several days now, can I notice much of a difference? To be honest, no. No, and really, there's no difference when you're actually using this machine for versus the last generation. If you have a last generation 13-inch MacBook Pro, do not bother upgrading to the new M2 13-inch MacBook Pro. But considering the target audience, I don't think many of you out there would be considering that anyway. I think this is just designed for new buyers. And in some ways, this is even worse than the last generation unit. Yes, it's a little bit faster with the M2, but the SSD on the base model is actually even a little bit slower. We're seeing roughly maybe 30% drop in speeds on the updated SSD for the 256 gig base model. Now, a lot of people have blown this out of proportion as being a big deal. I don't think that it is, because you shouldn't be buying the base amount of storage. 256 gigs is very small, and you're likely to eat that up very quickly. I would never recommend anybody buy the base storage for their MacBook Pro. Instead, at least go with that 500, if not the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, but the 256 gig option is just not worth it. And now that it is slower than the prior generation, it's even more not worth it. So do not buy that base unit, and you don't have to worry about the slower SSD speeds. The 512, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabyte all are still the same fast SSDs as the prior gen, so they are much quicker than the base unit storage speeds for the read and the write speeds. So in some ways, though, the new one isn't as good as that last generation. And it kind of is sitting in a weird spot in Apple's lineup because Apple still has the 14-inch and the 16-inch MacBook Pros with the M1 Pro and M1 Max processors, and then you have the MacBook Air, which also was updated with the M2 processor. And really, I think that MacBook Air is what most people should be buying. There are very few people out there who need the 13-inch MacBook Pro. The biggest benefit this has over the MacBook Air is slightly better battery life. Apple says about 2 more hours, 18 versus 20 hours of video playback time. And the other difference is it has active cooling. So there are fans in here. I never heard them turn on even under load, so they're very quiet fans, but they help cool the machine, which means under sustained loads, like long video exports, anything like that, where your computer is churning for a significant amount of time, that active cooling will help keep the temperatures lower and performance higher. But it isn't a huge difference. We saw the same thing with the M1 versions of the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, and it was not a big enough jump that people are like, oh, I have to have the MacBook Pro over the Air because of that performance edge. It's a very small edge, and the MacBook Air this year has a whole lot more going for it than this MacBook Pro. The MacBook Air has been redesigned. It is still a bit lighter than the MacBook Pro and comes in new colors. Not only do you have space gray and silver, but you have midnight and starlight to match. Apple's also added another port to the MacBook Air. So while the MacBook Pro has 2 USB-C ports, the new MacBook Air has those 2 USB-C plus MagSafe 3. So you can use MagSafe 3 to charge your MacBook Air and then 2 ports for data, to display, anything like that. So you have effectively a whole additional port on your machine because you don't have to occupy your USB-C ports for charging. Apple even has color-matched MagSafe 3 cables to go with the machine. So you can get a midnight or a starlight cable to go with that MacBook Air, not just a white USB-C cable. It's a really neat little touch. The MacBook Air even has a larger screen. As I said, Apple has a 13.3-inch display on this MacBook Pro. Apple has added that little notch to the top of the MacBook Air, effectively making it a 13.6-inch display. So you get a bit more real estate there at the top of the display. So the MacBook Air has a larger screen than the 13-inch MacBook Pro. And Apple's updated the camera, so it actually has a 1080p FaceTime camera in the MacBook Air, whereas the MacBook Pro is still only 720p. In rounding this all up, the new 13-inch MacBook Pro with the M2 is better, but not by a lot. It really just is the improvements of the M2 and the same old body that we've had before. But I don't want people to think that, old or unexciting is the same thing as bad. This is good. This is a very nice laptop. But in Apple's lineup, it just makes it hard to recommend. The MacBook Air should be along very shortly with the M2. Apple's announced it, it just has not begun shipping yet. And I think that's the machine most people would gravitate towards. I don't think there's anyone who needs the power of the 13-inch MacBook Pro that wouldn't also benefit from the power of the M2 or the M1 Pro inside of the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I know the 14-inch MacBook Pro is quite a bit more than the 13-inch MacBook Pro, but that's where you're going to see an actual jump. I think everyone should stick with the MacBook Air if they can, and if they need more power, splurge and get that 14-inch MacBook Pro. You have a ton more benefits, including larger screen. You have the better cameras. You have more ports. You've got a whole lot of stuff going on for that money other than just the better performance of the M1 Pro. So that's my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think of the new M2 13-inch MacBook Pro? Let me know down below in the comments or on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. And if you want to grab the new MacBook Pro, I've got some deals going on already, and they're linked down below in the description. Be sure to check those out. Otherwise, stay tuned. I have a lot more videos coming your way.